Welcome to We Love Dubai Fans official channel, your ultimate source for everything surrounding the captivating life of Sheikh Hamdan and the ever-enigmatic dynamics of the royal family. Recently, Sheikh Hamdan shared a soul-stirring romantic poem on Instagram, one that resonated deeply with countless hearts across the world. Today, we dive into a fictional story inspired by that same emotional intensity. The journey of a young woman caught in the storm between love, betrayal, and the courage to seek the truth. She stood frozen in front of the mirror, the wedding dress cascading down her form like a waterfall of lace and whispered dreams. The boutique lights illuminated the delicate embroidery, making her look like she had stepped out of a fairy tale. But her hands shook, not with excitement, but with a fear she couldn't explain. Her reflection stared back at her, beautiful, but hollow. His voice still echoed in her memory, warm and certain. I want to see you in that dress. That one. The one that makes you look like you've stepped out of my dreams. He had said it with such confidence, as if their forever was already written in the stars. Yet now, standing alone in that boutique, she felt like a stranger in her own story. The past few weeks had spun her into a spiral of uncertainty, lies uncovered, truths whispered behind closed doors, eyes that once looked at her with love now clouded by secrets. This wasn't just cold feet. This was something deeper, something darker. She traced her fingers along the lace, remembering the day she chose the dress. He was there, smiling, whispering words that had once held power. This is the one. You'll take everyone's breath away. She had believed him then. But belief, she had come to learn, is fragile. And love, when built on half-truths, eventually collapses under its own weight. A soft knock on the door pulled her from her reverie. Are you ready? The voice was familiar, too familiar. But the hesitation in it made her chest tighten. Am I ready? She asked herself. Ready to step into a future tied to a man who had betrayed her. The dress hugged her figure perfectly, but inside, she felt anything but whole. Another knock. Louder. I'm coming, she replied, voice trembling. With each step toward the door, she felt like a prisoner walking to her own execution. When she opened it, a pair of eyes met hers, worried, searching. Are you okay? The question struck deeper than it should have. Was she? And somewhere else, far from her, his voice narrates the aftermath. A confession, a lament, a realization. I tried to hate her. I wanted to burn every memory, erase every trace of her touch. But love, when it's real, doesn't burn out easily. It smolders, slow, painful, and endless. She had left behind a gaping void, and in that emptiness, he discovered a strange sense of freedom. Not from her, but from the illusions he had once believed were love. One woman broke me, shattered my heart into unrecognizable pieces. And yet, in those shards, I found strength I didn't know I had. A broken heart still beats, still dreams, still survives. He remembered her hands, how they fit perfectly in his. Her voice, soft, melodious, a lullaby he now only hears in dreams. She had crafted worlds with her words, only to leave him in ruins when those worlds collapsed. I chased the shadows of our love across empty nights. I whispered her name into the wind, but the wind only mocked me, carrying her scent away from me, not toward. Love had been his compass. Now, it was his wilderness. But even in the pain, a spark remained. Asterisk. She left, but she didn't take everything. What she didn't know is that when love ends, a new version of us begins. She thought she broke me, but what she did was awaken me. He no longer needed her to complete his story. She had been a chapter, a vivid, painful, unforgettable chapter, but not the whole book. Asterisk. Love is never a destination. It's a journey, winding, brutal, beautiful. One moment can bring ecstasy, and the next, devastation. But through it all, love teaches, even if it comes clothed in pain. The silence that followed her departure taught him more than her presence ever did. The emptiness forced him to fill himself with something real, purpose, self-worth, and hope. Asterisk. One woman may have left, but the love she ignited, even in its ashes, fueled the fire of my rebirth. Back in the boutique, she took one last look at the dress. A dream once shared, now haunted. She reached for the zipper, paused, and let out a breath that felt like release. She didn't need to be saved by love. She didn't need to be completed. She turned away from the mirror, away from the illusion, and walked out, not into a wedding, but into her own beginning. This was not the end of a love story. This was the beginning of a woman reclaiming her narrative. And somewhere, miles apart, a man stood in the ruins of what was, piecing together who he could become next.